Taking a look at some of those prop queen edges. This is just a short list of them. Nix under 20.5 completions. He is averaging 18 completions overall this year against top 10 defenses in completions allowed, 16.5 at home. Buffalo's allowed the least completions per game, and 81% of quarterbacks have gone under their completions prop against the Buffalo Bills. Running back RJ Harvey to go under his 20.5 receiving yards. He didn't go over this once through 5 matchups against teams that are top 10 in receiving yards allowed to running backs. Not once. He's gone under in all of them. Buffalo allows the 6th least receiving yards per game to running backs. 61% of them have gone under their receiving yards prop. Running back for the Bills, James Cook, under 16.5 receiving yards. He's only faced one top 10 defense in receiving yards allowed to running backs, so not much sample size. But Cook is averaging 11 receiving yards per game on the road, going under in 6 of 9 games. Denver, 2nd least receiving yards per game allowed to running backs. 73% of running backs have gone under their receiving yard prop against them. The Bears quarterback, Caleb Williams, and this is in no particular order. I was very out of order today. Caleb Williams to go over 32.5 pass attempts. He's averaging 38 pass attempts per game when up against the bottom 10 defense in pass attempts allowed. Averaging 34 pass attempts per game at home, going over in 6 of 9 home games. At home in prime time, Caleb Williams is averaging 36 pass attempts per game, going over in 3 of 4. The Rams allow the 7th most pass attempts per game. 61% of quarterbacks went over their pass attempt prop against the Rams. So if you do believe that the Rams are going to take a lead because they're 3.5-point road favorites and that the Bears are going to be playing from behind, attack the secondary, but Caleb Williams is going to have to throw the football, so you go over his pass attempts. DeAndre Swift, the running back for the Bears, over 8.5 yards for his longest reception. He's averaging 22 yards per longest reception. Swift's averaging 14 yards per longest catch in his home games, going over in 56% of home games. Rams allow the 5th most receiving yards per game to running backs this year. And in the last 10 games, 58% of running backs have gone over their receiving yard prop when facing the Los Angeles Rams. Kenneth Walker, over 11.5 receiving yards. I was going back and forth between the running backs in Seattle, but the better numbers were with Walker, who's averaging 26 receiving yards a game this year against teams bottom 10 in receiving yards allowed. That number drops to 18 at home, but it's still over this number of 11.5. The Niners allow the 10th most receiving yards per game to running backs. And in the last 10 games, 68% of running backs have gone over their receiving yard prop when up against the 49ers. For the Patriots quarterback, Drake Maye, under 19.5 completions. We bet this at 20.5 last week and it hit. We're going to bet the under again this week at 19.5. Maye is only averaging 18 completions a game when up against teams top 10 in completions allowed. That number drops to 17 at home. Houston's allowed the 7th least completions per game, with 65% of quarterbacks going under their completions. To what Andy Lang was saying, he says Ramondre Stevenson he really likes, because how are you going to protect Drake Maye? You are going to make sure he runs the ball so Drake Maye doesn't get pummeled. So he doesn't throw as much, under 19.5 completions. The Sam Darnold one happened before he got put on the injury report, so I'm curious. But again, I think it's a little silly. He'll be fine. Game plan has to stay the same if that's the game plan you have to try to beat your divisional rival. Sam Darnold over 229.5 passing yards. I have to see since the injury announcement if it went down at all. But this number is super telling, guys. He hasn't gone over 200 passing yards in either of the games against the Niners, and yet this number is 229.5. Well, against bottom 10 pass defenses, Darnold's averaging 250 passing yards a game. Drops to 235 against bottom 10 pass defenses at home, but again, still above this number of 229.5. And the Niners are allowing the 10th most passing yards per game. As Andy Lang and I discussed, we love Jake Tonges this week, over 35.5 receiving yards. Andy says it's already gone up to 37.5. Without George Kittle, this number for Tonges has gone over in 4 straight games, averaging 48 receiving yards a game without Kittle. The Seahawks also are a great matchup for him. They allow the 6th most receiving yards per game to tight ends this year at 64 a game. 57% of tight ends have gone over their receiving yard prop against the Seahawks. We're going to take the over, Jake Tonges, on receiving yards this weekend.